coming to that, let's have a look at what the markets are up to. So, Cheryl, after a decent start, the markets did drift in the red, but now making a comeback.
Yes, looks like it. For now, markets are trying to actually build on some gains. As we speak, you have Nifty that's trading above the 18,000 mark. We did dip in the negative territory right after open. About 15 minutes after open, we saw a sharp reversal in the markets. But from there on, now we are actually trying to pick up some steam. So there, as you can see on your screen, the markets are trading in the positive. Nifty Bank, that's the one that's actually underperforming the benchmark indices. As of now, it's trading muted with a positive bias. You have the metal counters that are actually doing exceedingly well in today's trading session. So be it Tata Steel, JSW Steel, Hindalco, all of them are seeing strong gains. Top three Nifty gainers is from the metal pack, followed by Tata Motors and ONGC also seeing good strength. But on the losing side, you have a pharma name that's Dr. Reddy's that's seeing some sort of a pressure in today's trading session. You have Mahindra, HDFC Twins, all of them in the negative territory. Talking about sectoral indices then, and you have a metal index that is the top performing sector in today's trading session. 3% uptick coming in for the metal index, followed by a realty index also seeing good strength. Broader markets are outperforming the benchmark indices. Your small cap index that's trading higher by about 1%. PSU Bank index also holding gains of about 1% in today's trading session. And on the losing side, the only sector that is seeing a tad bit of weakness is FMCG, but it is trading flat with a negative bias. So that's the way how the markets are trading in today's session. Actually, Shrishti, remember that yesterday you saw a very furious rally on the markets, but today it is a little bit subdued.
Well, yes, but seems like with the recent fall in the markets, that giving the opportunity for all our investors to gear up for 2023. And here we go. All throughout the week, we'll be coming up with the topics by our experts on the technical as well as fundamental front. On the day two, we are being joined once again by Kunal Bothra. And on the fundamental side, we are being joined by Rajesh Agarwal, who is the head of research at AUM Capital. A very good morning, gentlemen. And Kunal, let me come to you first. What is the topic that you have got for a view for 2023?
Good morning, everyone. So the topic which I would highlight at this hour is AB Capital, the stock which has made I would say, a dramatic comeback in the last 2 or 3 months, trading from 115-20 levels to almost 140 plus at one point of time. I think it's done exceptionally well. It's managed to break out of a 3-year, 4-year consolidation. So this seems to be more of a comeback in the last 2 months for AB Capital, and I would believe that going into 2023, the chart patterns are looking very attractive. So would suggest a buy. 180 as a target. 125 could be a positional stop loss.
All right, so that's a top bet coming in from Kunal for the year 2023. Remember, yesterday it was MCX, today it is AB Capital. Very good morning to you, Kunal, and good morning to you as well, Rajesh. And before we dive into your top pick for the year 2023 and also which were the outperformers for your portfolio in the year 2022, let's talk about what should retail investors do in the current market scenario. We are entering into a brand new year come next week, and what should retail investors do to protect their wealth?
Morning, Srishti. Morning, Cheryl. Before I start, my best wishes on Christmas and New Year to Cheryl, to Srishti, and the entire ET Now team. Good morning, Kunal. See, markets have been very volatile, I would say. The last 1 month, the December month, has been pretty bad for retail investors. We have seen almost DI buying around 19,000 crore in December and FII selling around 8,500 odd crores. So that shows that the buying side on the institutional side was on a higher note, but who sold? The big question is who sold, and obviously the answer that comes to our mind is retail has sold. I remember last week when Shah Rukh Khan was in Calcutta, he was on a dais and he said, "Kursi ki peti bandh lijiye." So that's exactly what I would like to say to retail investors, that "Kursi ki peti bandh lijiye," fasten your seat belts, sit tight, because at the time of turbulence, you don't just jump off the aircraft, you just sit tight and carry on. And that's exactly what you need to do in a capital market too. When the times are of turbulence, you need to just sit tight, carry on with your position, revisit your portfolio if the companies are good and that are not going to be affected by short-term news or short-term volatilities. You need not panic. You do not sell your portfolio stocks in the assumption that it would go down and you would buy at a lower price. That may happen, that may not happen. That's a very wild guess. That's speculative, I would say. And as an investor, you should not do this. You should sit tight, let the turbulence pass, and carry on with your investment.
Okay, so that's the advice coming in for all the retail investors, to sit tight in turbulent times. But Rajesh, the question is, sit tight with which stocks? Which are the top picks that you've got for our viewers for 2023, where they can invest for now and maybe 2023 and beyond, that may give them a good returns on their investments?
See, there are a lot of stocks, but since it's a paucity of time, I would stick to one or two. What I would like to add before I come out with my stocks is that this is going to be the last budget of the current government. And what we believe that the focus might be entirely on rural upliftment, infrastructure development, and all those things. And these sectors are going to be more benefited rather than the other sectors. So I would suggest Astral Poly, which is directly or indirectly connected with both infrastructure and rural. It's one of the India's largest plastic pipe manufacturing company, and it's shown sharp growth in plastic and adhesive both its division. Demand is coming back into the economy. Real estate and home improvement sectors have seen an uptick, and we have seen raw metal prices being passed on, and now PVC prices have fallen by more than 50-60% and that's a big benefit for this kind of company. We have seen strong volume growth in the last 2-3 quarters. They have doing a capex of about 100 crores in the storage tank. They are moving into sanitary ware also. The balance sheet is very strong. They have around 500 odd crores in the cash, so they can go for acquisitions also. All these things are showing a better future for Astral Poly, and we won't be surprised in this year, that's current calendar year 23. It goes up by 20-25% from the current market price. So one would be Astral Poly, and the second would be NBFC company Poonawalla Finance. That's doing very well. When they acquired the company, the AUM was around 15,000 odd crores. It's 22,000 odd crores in FY22, and the management has clearly said in the next 2-3 years it's going to be 45,000 odd crores. They're doing very well. Almost all the divisions are doing well. Recently, they came out with, they sold out their housing finance company. The cash is going to be utilized fully well. I think this is one company one should keep on radar, not only for this FY calendar year 23, but even beyond that.
Right, so those are the topics coming in from Rajesh this morning. For the year 2023, one is Astral Poly, the other one is Poonawalla Finance. But on that note, we slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. When we come back, we will be back with your queries, so don't go anywhere.
With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you asked, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you asked, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are
Welcome back to Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, and with this it's time to kickstart taking all your stock related queries from our experts. So let's get started, and the first question that we have is from Subrata Mukherjee, and Rajesh, this one is for you. He has bought Aurobindo Pharma at a price of 550. He wants to know, is this a good time to average out this particular counter because he's a long-term investor, so what will be your advice?
See, for long term, it looks good because the products they have are good. But in the short term, I don't think anything would happen in a very short term. But since he's a long-term investor, I would advise hold on to this stock. And if there is a dip of around 5-8% from the current market price, it can be a good opportunity to add. Addition at this point of time would not be advised, but you can carry on with your investment.
Before I go on to the next query, a quick note for all of our viewers and also Kunal and Rajesh, just to bring it to your notice that today is our show producer Abhishek's birthday. So a very big and a very happy birthday to you, Abhishek. He is one of the quietest producers that I have worked with. So a big shout out going out to Abhishek. And yes, viewers, you too can wish Abhishek either on WhatsApp or on YouTube or on Twitter. But let me go on to the next query, and this one is for you, Rajesh. And this one is coming from Soumitra, and he is actually of the view, he wants to know about the chemical sector, because one of the recent interviews of one of the big investors, he's basically heard that the best for chemical sector is behind us. Do you concur with that view? Do you feel that the best of the chemical sector is behind us, and someone who's already invested or looking to invest in chemical sector, should they take that plunge right now, given the fact that China Plus One strategy also seems to work well for Indian chemical players, isn't it?
First, let me wish Abhishek a very happy birthday. It has been a nice experience on your show since the last 4-5 years. I wish you all the best for the coming year. Happy birthday. Coming to the question of chemical industry as such, I think, yes, if one says that the kind of phenomenal growth which we have witnessed in the last 2 years during the time of COVID, that's not going to be repeated in the near future. That's a fact. But saying that it has been far behind or it's not going to perform, I don't think that's a right statement to make, because there are a lot of opportunities in good companies like Deepak Nitrite or Tata Chemicals or Lakshmi Organics, Chemplus, and there are some good bets that are trading at a highly discounted value to their real worth. I think if somebody is looking for a time horizon of 12 to 18 months, 15-20% from the current market price is quite possible. So one can start accumulating these stock in a staggered way for a long-term horizon.
Okay, so that's the take coming in. We're moving on to the next question. Kunal, this one is from Sandeep, and he's invested into Triveni Turbines at a price of $299. In the past 6 months, we have seen the stock in a one-way up move, but from 20th of December, that's a fall of around 16% in this particular counter. What are you spotting on the charts, and for the next 3 months, what's the outlook?
So even I'll take some time to wish Abhishek a very, very happy birthday. On Triveni Turbine and on the query over here, so it's it's at par with the stock performance when a stock gets into a big breakout mode. So you look at Triveni Turbine not in the last 3 days and compare that the stock has corrected some 15-16%. But you look at the participation the stock had shown from the June lows. Now when the markets were going full song, when the stock bottomed out at 150 mark, from there the stock had given returns of 2x. Now after a rally of 100%, a correction of 15%, 20% may just be a at par performance for the stock price. So I would not be too much perturbed with the stock price correction. In fact, if the correction extends towards the stock, maybe coming towards 255, 260 odd mark, that could actually be a zone where traders could start accumulating the stock at those levels. So the chart patterns look very strong, robust. 255, 260 could be a point where you could look to average.
Okay, so that's the advice on this particular counter. But Abhishek, a very happy birthday to you. A lot of viewers are actually not posting their stock queries, but they're just messaging, very happy birthday to you, Abhishek.
I can hear him say, oh my God, in my earpiece. But let me move on to the next query then. And this one is coming in from Sagar. And this one is for you, Kunal. He wants a technical view on Donier Industries. He's bought about 5,000 shares at a price of around 51 to 52 rupees per share. He's noticed that the stock has formed multiple bullish pattern on multiple time frame. He's saying cup and handle, inverse head and shoulder, rounding bottom. He's, however, noted that the fact that this is less than a 500 crore rupees market cap company. So he's unsure if you track this. But in case you track this or you've had a look at the charts, what should he do with his holding right now?
So you can continue to hold on. So I don't track it very closely, but then looking at the charts, it's a chart which indicates that the stock is coming out of a major correction consolidation for itself. It's almost like a decade-odd consolidation for Donier, and the stock is trying to break out every now and then. But the only concern which I have, is, when stocks, they generally break out of multi-years of consolidation, there is always a setup in terms of volumes. That setup in volumes is still not visible for Dornier, which means possibly that, if the stock rises up marginally, but the volumes shoot up higher, significantly higher, then that's a sign that there are new buyers and new entrants who have entered into the stock, and that could probably lead to a decisive and a strong breakout. So as of now, the setup is attractive. But it's not indicative that the stock would go into a multi-year as well as a decade, kind of a breakout. So you can, since you bought at lower levels of 50 odd, you can continue to hold on. But then I would probably prefer that if you can keep on trading, maybe say closer to 97, 98 or closer to 100 levels, book out profits and then look to re-enter back again around that 80 odd mark.
Okay, moving on to the next query. Anjali wants to know from you, Kunal, is this a good time to enter into IRCTC January futures? What will be your advice given the kind of movement that we have seen in this particular stock? The stock has been quite volatile recently.
So yeah, it looks attractive. In fact, I think 2 days back when IRCTC corrected towards some 600 odd rupees, approximately, the stock hit a major oversold point for itself. But the only concern is that, you can probably take this as a risk reward play rather than a possibility of a big turnaround for IRCTC. So till the time the 2-day low, 3-day low is protected and the stock doesn't break below that 600 mark, you can continue to hold on to the futures trade.
Okay, this one is coming from Vishal and this one is for you, Rajesh. He wants to know about Tanla Platforms and Affle India. If it makes sense to actually add these counters at current market price or should he wait for some more corrections? Vishal is a long-term investor. He's writing to us from Dubai.
See, Tanla has already corrected a lot. I think it's quite an attractive level for a long-term investor. But as far as Affle is concerned, I think maybe a correction of 10% from the current market price would be a better point to enter. Maybe around 850, 900 odd rupees would be a better price point to enter into Affle. Fundamentals of both the companies are quite good for a long-term holding. But entry at this point of time would be suggested only in Tanla, not in Affle.
On the next query that we have is for you, Kunal. Sandeep wants to know on an intraday basis, will Eicher Motors will be a good bet?
So,
or other than Eicher Motors, he wants to know any other stock on an intraday basis where he can trade on.
So TVS Motors is attractive if you're looking at it from the auto pack. I think that stock should get into a breakout mode. So if you're asking me my preferred bet from the auto pack from an intraday basis, I would probably prefer TVS Motors. Maybe another couple of percentage points from current levels, if not intraday, at least as a PTST or as a swing trade. Eicher Motors, the only concern is that the stock is still unable to break past above the previous swing high. So the swing highs are getting a tad bit lower for Eicher Motors. For example, yesterday's swing high, for Eicher Motors was around 3,228. Today the stock is below the 3,228 mark. It's not even attempted towards a breakout of the previous swing high. So it's always better to buy on confirmation of a breakout rather than anticipation, because then you would be left out holding the stock for a higher period of time, and that could probably put in a lot of doubts in terms of the stock trends. So it's better that you buy above 3,228 or 3,230 levels for Eicher Motors.
Okay, this one is coming from Santi and this one is for you, Rajesh. He's a long-term investor and he also wants to know about LG Brothers Limited. He's holding about 10 shares at a price of around 689 rupees per share. He wants your fundamental view on this particular counter as well as valuation comfort. What should he do with this particular counter? He wants to know whether he should continue to hold on to it and add some more for his portfolio.
Of course, one should add. The companies were doing very well. It's into chains, supplying to industrials and auto. The numbers have been very good. If you look at FY22 EPS, it's around 78 odd rupees, and we believe that this year it would be around 90 odd rupees. That means it's trading at a PE of less than 7-8 times, and that's a very good valuation, I would say, in such kind of market where Nifty is around 18,000 odd levels. One should add their stocks and carry on for a period of maybe 12 to 18 months for a target of 900 odd rupees.
Next query is an options query. Mandikandan has bought PNB 65 rupees January call options at a price of 0.75. Any chances in January for a bounce back in PNB? Should he expect some kind of a return, because it's quite an out of the money call option, or there are chances that it might expire and give zero returns?
I think 0.75 on a 65 rupees call option. The stock I think is trading at 52 or 53, which means you're expecting 30% up move first for the stock price for your strike to become in the money. That's a lot of imponderables for the stock price movement, because when you're expecting a 30% kind of an up move, the meaty part of the up move could probably already have happened for the stock price, and then to expect that your option would get back into significant amount of premium would be a tad bit more difficult. I would expect that in case instead you should look to buy the stock or the option when the stock comes closer to this zone of 48.50. 48.50 is a good support zone for PNB. In case if the stock corrects back again towards that zone, then look to buy the 50 at the money call option for the Jan series.
All right, this one is coming in from Sri Kutan, and he's holding VIP Industries at a price of around 726 rupees per share. Kunal, he wants a medium-term view, and for him the medium term is 3 to 7 months.
I would suggest a hold. Maybe 650 could be an averaging opportunity for VIP Industries. It also coincides with the 200 moving average for the stock price. And then probably from there you can expect maybe a 730, 740 could be a near-term target range. So it's a decent chart, but it's just that I think over the last maybe a few weeks the stock is going through a consolidation / correction phase, and I think closer to this 200 moving average is where the correction / consolidation could get over. So 650 is a good averaging opportunity for VIP.
Okay, Rajesh, the next one is from Anirudh, and he has bought shares of Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC at a price of 550. He's a long-term investor, so he wants to know whether to hold on from these levels, or is this counter giving some opportunity to average out as well? What will be your advice?
See, averaging at this point of time would be advisable because the counter is not doing anything. Though the numbers have been good, the company is doing well, but the kind of market scenario, I think these AMC companies are going to be in pressure for some more time. So it's no point adding at this point of time and putting your money in this kind of stock. Better be in stocks like just we discussed, LG Balkrishna or Deepak Fertilizer. These can be a good bets at this point of time.
All right, the next one that I have is coming in from Kaustubh. Kunal, this one is for you. CG Consumer, he wants to know whether he can accumulate at current market price.
Yeah, I think it's a good stock, less prone to volatility. It's a stock which tends to move in its own trends. I think even at current levels, the stock has done reasonably well, trading above some key moving averages for itself. So I would suggest to hold on to the stock.
Okay, a lot of FNO queries, Kunal, today. So the next one is from Jagdish, and he wants to know, is this a good time to buy ICICI Bank 1200 call options for January? What will be your advice on this?
Yeah, I think you can look to buy ICICI 1200 call. I think it's a stock which has done reasonably well, I would say relatively, over the last 2 to 3 months as compared to most of the other private sector banking names, specifically on the large cap side. Axis Bank, of course, is the other stock which I've been bullish on, but I think ICICI Bank 1200 strike would be closer to at the money strike, and I think if the markets bounce back from here on, and if the private sector banks tend to outperform, ICICI Bank could probably play a very strong role in that regard. So I would suggest a buy or a hold for the 1200 call option.
Okay, this one is from Anil. He's writing to us from Bangalore, and he's holding DCX Systems at a price of around 245 rupees per share, about 500 odd shares. Can he continue to hold on to this counter for the long term? Rajesh, recently listed counter. What's your take on DCX if you track it?
See, it's a very recently listed company, maybe last fortnight or so, if I'm not wrong. The listing was good, but then markets corrected and this company stock also connected. I think 200 odd levels is a good levels to carry on with the stock. Maybe in the next 6 to 9 months, one can witness 250, 280 odd levels in this. So book profit at that point of time.
All right, let's just take a quick note of the flashes that you had on the bottom of your screen a short while ago. And this one we are getting from our sister channel, that is Times Now. The fact that Bombay High Court has refused to grant urgent relief to the coachers, that's Chanda Kochar as well as Deepak Kochar. Both of them had actually challenged the CBI FIR at the Bombay High Court, and what we are getting from Times Now right now is the fact that Bombay High Court has refused to grant urgent relief to both of them. So this is the latest with this regard. We will get you some more inputs in a short while, but for now, what we are picking up from Times Now is that the Bombay High Court has refused to grant urgent relief to the coachers. But let me move on and let me take the next query then. And this one is coming in from KJ Singh. He wants a long-term view on KPIT Technologies. What's your take coming in on this one? Rajesh, do you think it's time to take a bet on the mid-cap IT sector?
Yes, of course, it's a good company catering to auto companies. The numbers have been good, and the kind of commentary they have given looks very promising. I think 900 plus levels could be quite possible in the next 6 months. One can take a long term.
Coming in on KPIT Tech, but with this, it's time to slip into a short break. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in taking more of your stock queries and experts also. Please hang on.
Publicly listed company, we have access to capital, we have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, and let's keep it with the breaking news. That is that the Bombay High Court vacation bench has actually refused to intervene in the matter of the arrest of Chanda Kochar and Deepak Kochar. And in fact, the Bombay High Court vacation bench has actually asked them to approach regular bench when the court reopens after vacation. Remember that both Chanda Kochar and Deepak Kochar actually approached the High Court challenging their arrest by CBI in a loan case. If you actually rewind a tad bit, on Friday is when actually the Kochars were arrested by CBI. So let me just put that into context. Yes, the Kochars were arrested by CBI on Friday night. This is after a brief questioning session, and they had been remanded to the custody of CBI right up till December 26, which yesterday got extended till December 28th. Remember that the CBI has also arrested Venugopal Dut in the similar matter, and also he's remanded to the CBI custody right up till December 28th. But the news that right now we are picking up is the fact that the Bombay High Court's vacation bench has refused to intervene in the matter of the arrest of former MD and CEO of ICICI Bank, that's Chanda Kochar and Deepak Kochar, and in fact has asked them to go ahead and approach the regular bench when the court reopens after vacation. And they had approached the High Court challenging their arrest by the CBI in the loan case.
Okay, so that's the latest update coming in on ICICI Bank Videocon load fraud case. But let's come back to taking up all your stock-related queries. And Kunal, the next one is for you. Actually, Kanan wants to know your advice for a fresh buy on two counters. Firstly is Welspun Corp and the other one is Triveni Engineering, both for long term. But let me club it with another query that Sandeep has already bought Triveni Engineering at a price 20 rupees higher than the current market price. So what will be your advice on both of these counters and Triveni Engineering for Sandeep?
So both of them are hold. The stock have done reasonably well. In fact, Wellcorp seems to have corrected far more sharper as compared to Triveni. Of course, the sectors are a lot more different, but then chart-wise, I think Wellcorp has corrected a bit more sharper in the last 3 to 4 months from 293-300 levels. The stock is back again at the 220 mark, which is not the case in terms of the percentage correction for a stock like Triveni. So I think both the stocks are looking attractive in their own spaces. They've come back to their main support points as well as oversold territory. So both of them, they become attractive buy at current zone.
All right. The next one is coming in from Jayakrishnan, and Rajesh. Jayakrishnan wants to know, makes sense to buy Tata Elxsi now because some sort of a bullish trend seems to be forming in this one, is what Jayakrishnan is asking.
See, can't say about bullish trends and all that. Kunal would be a better person to say, but as far as fundamentals are concerned, yes, it's doing very well. VFX and all other things are doing very well. They have got a good order book. Yes, the valuation seems somewhat stretched at this point of time, but seeing it, the order book and the kind of prospects, I think it can go to maybe 7,500, 7,800 in the next 1 year or so. So if somebody is ready to hold for 1 year, one can go.
Okay, Kunal, the next question is from Ravi, and he wants your take on two counters. Firstly, it's SAIL. He bought this at a price of 84, and the other one is Mazagon Dock at a price of 840. He's looking for a swing trade to have returns of around 3 to 5%. Should he hold on to these levels, or is there an opportunity to average out as well?
No, I think you should look to maybe exit the stock closer to your cost price if possible for both of these names. Now, it's not that I'm bearish on the stock, but the near-term price trends indicate that this may just be a bounce at play for both of these stocks, maybe closer to 83, 85 range for SAIL, and just about that 830, 840 mark for Mazagon Dock is where the bounce could probably last into. And then in the second phase of the price correction, if these stocks correct to their respective swing lows, so SAIL, for example, at 74, 75 levels, and if Mazagon Docks come closer to 750 mark, those are points where you should look to reinitiate a buy.
All right, Kunal, this one is come from Pawan, wants to know of a good level to enter Nestle for a period of 2 years.
So Nestle, Britannia, I think these stocks have done reasonably well from their FMCG pack. Nestle, I think at current levels of 19,800 is also on the verge of a multi-week support point. So the major support point for Nestle is 19,600 approximately. So if you're looking to buy, 19,600 could be a good starting point for you.
Okay, Kunal, a lot of queries from you, and the next one is from Jay Krishnan. He wants to know the take on two Tata Group companies. Firstly, is Tata Investment. He bought these counters at a price of 2,700. Is that a hold, and this counter is ready for a breakout? Is what he wants to know. And the other one he has is Titan. Entered at a price of 2,700. What will be your advice on that? And the short-term target on Titan as well.
So, both the stocks are completely different to each other. When I look at the overall chart patterns, Tata Investment is a very high beta name. The stock goes into short bursts of strong uptrend. But then if you miss out, or if you happen to buy the fag end of the uptrend, you are left with a lot of waiting time for the stock to consolidate, correct, etc. So right now it's a phase where the stock is going through a correction/consolidation. I would suggest that if you're looking to buy, wait out for the point when the stock gets into momentum back again. This is a bounce which is playing out for the stock. Maybe if the stock crosses about the 2,300 mark, that could be a point of a possible turnaround for Tata Investment. For Titan, on the other hand, I would think that it's a far more stable stock, has already gone through its own phase of correction, 10 to 15% lower already from the previous major swing highs, which is around 2750 mark for Titan. So I would suggest that this is a much better buy, much stabler buy if you're looking at it, even if you're looking at it as a 3-month investment or long term as well.
All right, so Abhishek, you're not alone. Even Manish Raju actually shares birthday with you. A very happy birthday to you, Manish. And this query is for you, Kunal. He wants to know whether it's good time to accumulate RCF and Tata Steel for the next 3 months, 6 months, and for 1 year time frame. Also, he wants his birthday pick from you. So would that be AB Capital as well?
Yeah, happy birthday to you. Birthday pick is already given at the start of the show, AB Capital. On RCF and Tata Steel, so I would probably not suggest RCF at current levels. Now I understand that the stock had been one of the better performers, but then this last 2 weeks of price correction, and I would say a severe price correction, has actually dampened the charts for RCF a bit. There could be a possibility of another 10 to 15% correction, if not more, for RCF, and that I believe could probably play a bit tricky in terms of the risk reward. So a better level to buy RCF would be sub the 100 mark, according to me. And if that level comes by, possibly in the next maybe 2 to 3 weeks. Tata Steel, on the other hand, is a good value buy if you are a long-term investor, because the stock seems to be hanging around that 100 mark, plus or minus 5%, 7% kind of a range. So I think closer to 100 levels is a good buy where you can look to add Tata Steel from a long-term play.
Okay, moving on, the next question is for you, Rajesh. Venkat Ramani wants to know, is this a right time to enter into Devyani International for the 1 or 2 years perspective? Because in the past 1 year, the stock has given almost no returns. So what is the outlook for maybe a couple of years now?
Delivering pizza, that all. I think Sapphire Foods or a Jubilant Foodworks is a better bet in the same segment rather than Devyani. Although on valuation parameters, Devyani looks good for a target of maybe 190, 195 in the next 1 year. But for a better and a faster return, I think one should go with Sapphire or Jubilant Foodworks.
Let me kickstart with the rapid fire then. And for all of those who've been asking that they want a glimpse of Abhishek, just to note that you can catch his picture on our Twitter or on the Instagram handles very shortly from here on. But let me ask the first question then, and this one is coming from Venkateshan. Gujarat Fluoro, is it time to accumulate the stock? Fundamentally a strong one, Rajesh?
Yes, of course, one can go on long.
Okay, Kunal, Alok has bought Endurance Tech at a price of 1,500. What will be your advice?
I would suggest to hold on to the stock as of now.
All right, the next one is coming in from Mohit. Right time to buy Praj Industries. What's your take on this one, Rajesh?
Avoid at this point of time. Maybe around 320 would be a better level.
Okay, Rajesh, Balakrishnan bought 300 shares of Rupa & Company at a price of 400. Is that a hold or sell on loss? Sell in loss.
It's a hold at this point of time, but try to exit at spikes, maybe 340, 350 odd levels.
Okay, Akshay has Tata Power, 1,000 shares at the price of 228 rupees per share for the last 1 year. Kunal, what should he do?
Hold on to it as of now.
Okay, Rajesh, Mohit bought 1,500 shares of SCI at a price of 39. What is the view for the next 3 years?
One can hold the demerger and all those news are positive for the company. One can hold.
Okay, Jana wants to know about IRCTC. Kunal can enter right now, and what sort of a target one should look at for the long term?
So 600 could be a stop loss. From a short-term play, you can look out for maybe 656, 680 as a target range.
Okay, Kunal, Tushar wants to know the short-term target for Honeywell Automation. He bought this counter at 39,000.
44,000 approximately is a good resistance point for Honeywell Automation. That's a target which you can keep.
Okay, TP Vinod Kunal wants to know about Welspun India. Good to buy at current levels?
Yeah, I think it's a good stock to buy at current levels of 73, 74.
Okay, Rajesh Mayan wants to know which one to buy for long-term between Havells and Pidilite. What is your advice?
Havells would be a better bet.
Okay, Seema wants to know about Karnataka Bank, 4,800 shares, average price 145 rupees per share. Hold or sell, what to do, Kunal?
I would suggest to hold on. If possible, look to average in case the stock corrects closer to 125.
Okay, but with this, we are out of time in the rapid fire session and we are done with your stock queries as well. Thank you so much, Rajesh and Kunal, for joining us today on Buy Now, Sell Now and helping all our viewers with their stock-related queries. Okay, viewers, but with this, it's time to slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more.
And almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. And as we come closer to the end of the year 2022, let's take a look at how this year has been for the startups. Remember that 2021 was stellar for these companies, but 2022 has been muted. Listings and valuations both have massively come down this year. Let's rewind and see what's up and what's happening. What rather transpired for the startup plays in the year 2022. My colleague Sharad is here with all the analysis and the details. Sharad?
Well, yes, 2022 has been a muted year for startups, and this has been going across the sector. The impact we could see is this valuations. The numbers are very high in the year 2021 itself, but then a significant correction coming in up to Series D as well as IPO bound startups, and you can see the significant corrections coming ranging between 20 to 70%. Of course, the valuations were in a bubble as what analysts and experts are stating, as we had a chat with the VCs as well. But apart from the valuations correction, there's also fall in funding which has happened, and
in whatever business we do.
And now we are comparing this on a year-on-year basis as well. Now we take in the total funding as well as the total rounds of funding, and there has been a significant fall in it. Apart from this, the IPOs, that is something which we are going for expectations, and all the listings which we see, it was almost 9 listings were there in the last year itself, and this year the number has come down 1/3 of only 3 startups being listed in the main boards. Now apart from that, the IPO expectations, what we can expect going ahead next year, there are 3 big IPOs coming in, of course being led by OYO, which is more than 7,000 crore IPO size, which is expected, followed by Navitech and Paymet. So of course string of startup IPOs are also lined up for 2023, but it's a very cautious and a wait and watch approach going ahead. Now there are some startups which did close their shops. Firstly, I like to point out the Indian startups where the shops were closed, and of course the names included Lido, ShopX, Uday, but most of them were edtech startups, so that is something to ponder upon, as Baiju is also in the line for an IPO in the coming years. Apart from this, global startups also did shut their shop, and of course the crypto scam related company FTX was of course in the focus. Fast was there, Airlift, Horse was there. These were the important companies in the international segment where they closed their shops. But going ahead, what are the triggers for the startups? And that is something which is important for the key trends to go ahead. And of course the layoffs are expected to continue, consolidation is expected to happen, and of course the corporate restructuring will be there, and the entire focus would be moving towards profitability and reducing cash burn rather than going for growth as well. And of course the debt funding has become very important, especially in the growth stage startups as well. So very mixed and a muted response is expected in the year 2023, and the spillover from 2022 is expected to carry forward in the startup space.
So much, Sharad, for getting us all those highlights, how 2022 was for the startup industry, and going forward, what are the likely triggers, or rather the outlook for the startup world for 2023. But let's have a look at what the stock markets are up to right now. So once again, we are saying that the markets are drifting in the red, because we started the show with Bank Nifty just trying to hold on in greens, but once again showing a cuts of around 61 points, while Nifty is still holding strong above that 18,000 mark. And not just that, the top gainers for today are definitely the metal pack.